So it is my pleasure to introduce Reverend Hannelore, and I'm especially blessed. I was unable to be here last week, and now I am blessed with working with her up here. So she is affectionately known as the Dolphin Lady, but is the first and foremost a gifted storyteller, as we all know. As a published author, intuitive counselor, and a transformational life coach, her passion lies in sharing true life stories. Woven with intuitive wisdom and spiritual insight, her modern-day parables offer a fresh perspective on healing, hope, and the miracles present in daily life. As creator and founder of the Academy for Applied Intuitive Studies, she offers space for deep personal growth. Through retreats, workshops, and mentorships, these allow for an awakening of intuitive and alignment, and with purpose to live with greater joy and clarity. So before we welcome Hannelore, we are going to please stand, and we will do our version of the Aramaic prayer.
Holy Spirit, creator of life and all, you create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Our oneness now prevails. Your one desire flows to ours as energy fills our forms. You give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. You untangle the knots of error that bind us as we also release others. We don't let appearances make us forgetful of our source. We're born free to act from our highest nature. From your presence comes the glorious harmony of life. Now these words are fertile ground from which our future grows. Amen.
Thank you, Hannelore. Go ahead.
Good morning. What a lovely surprise to be here with you this morning. Yeah, I was surprised at myself too. So, prayed all the way that the traffic was good, and it was. And so I'm grateful to be here, and I'm going to guide you through a meditation to begin with. So I invite you to close your eyes and focus in on your breath. Again, keep breathing in, deep breath in, all the way down to your toes. And slowly release. Allowing your entire body to relax. And we realize that life often moves quickly. And events often unfold in ways that we never expected them to. Sometimes the world around us may seem very chaotic, uncertain, and very unpredictable. Yet beneath all of life's movement, there's always something deeper, a quiet presence, a stillness that has always been here. So imagine for a moment that you're standing next to a very calm ocean. And the surface of the water moves gently with the waves. And they are sometimes gentle, and yet they can also be very strong and forceful. But beneath the surface, in the deeper water, there's a constant remaining of peacefulness and calm. And in many ways, our lives are like that, below all the chaos, when we allow ourselves to center and go inward and allow that moment to search the calmness within. For on the surface, events may come and go. We may experience joy. We may experience sorrow. We may experience change that we must learn to adapt to. So in that place within, there's a quiet strength. So now just take a moment and imagine yourself gently sinking beneath the surface of that ocean into the peacefulness. Here you can remember who you are and that you are not alone in this journey. For unity teaches us that the divine presence lives within us and surrounds us always. Even though we experience moments where things feel uncertain, there is a greater intelligence always unfolding, and a wisdom that moves quietly and gently. So just take another deep breath, nice deep breath, and imagine that within every breath that you are drawing in peace. And with every exhale, you exhale worry, uncertainty, traumas. And allow yourself to rest for a moment in this deeper place of stillness. For it is a place where trust lives. A place where peace quietly waits for us to return. And from that place, we might remember something very important. For there is always joy, and that may appear when the moment is perfect. For there is something that may rise within us to remember that even in the midst of change, even in the midst of uncertainty, even in the midst of chaos, for you take that one more gentle breath. And allow yourself to feel the peacefulness within this room. And the beauty of all those who are here with you, sitting quietly. And as you allow yourself to take another breath, gently open your eyes. And take a moment and look at those people that are here and around you. For we're all one. We've all had these crazy moments, and somehow we're still here. Thank you.
How is your loving heart today? I will help to heal it. How deep is the pain you must bear? When I think of you, I feel it. But there is more to life than suffering. There is good and there is peace. There is more to life than sadness. In love you'll find release. Searching for hope in a world that seems so hard. But I'm with you on the journey, no matter how far, 'cause I will always be there. And I'm sending out my love to you. How is your loving heart today? Your friends will help you hold on. With all of the love we can share, we'll stay true and we'll stay strong. Yes, we will. And the only words we need are the ones that stay unsaid. The message in the eyes is love's embrace instead. We're searching for hope in a world that seems so hard. But I'm with you on the journey, no matter how hard, 'cause I will always be there. And I'm sending out my love to you. Searching for hope in a world that seems so hard. But I'm with you on the journey, no matter how far, 'cause I will always be there. And I'm sending out my love to you. Yes, I will always be there. And I'm sending out my love to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Reminds me that, yes, God always will be there. You have times when something happened to you that seems really crazy and you go, why? Why is this happening to me? And it seems dismal. And yet when you look back at that experience, you realize the gift in that, and you realize that you were never, ever alone. couple of stories I have shared briefly here. And for me, my very powerful example of that is I was in my total joy, driving my car, heading to downtown, heading to Yaletown, in fact, to meet one of the advertising executives. And a very dear friend of mine was diagnosed with MS, so she and I had collected pledges, and we were going to do a walk around Stanley Park for MS. I had my 2 Dalmatians in the back of my car with me, and one of my favorite songs, and I was really feeling this incredible joy. And out of nowhere, a truck had run a red light and smashed into my vehicle. I had shared this story with you. And everything was slow motion. And I remember sitting at my wheel going, I'm sure it was a green light. And there was a taxi driver down on my left side, and he said, yes, it was a green light. I was witness to that. And I had obviously lost consciousness because the police had already arrived and the ambulance was there and they were ready to take my dogs away. And I went, no, you're not taking my dogs. I was so concerned about that, and I insisted that they drive me to the parking lot where my friend was waiting. So you can imagine there, she was standing and the ambulance pulls up and they ask if she knows me, and she's going, yes. Oh, she has your dogs. We have her dogs here. She's just been in an accident. And as soon as I knew my dogs were taken care of, that's when my knees went to rubber. And I had actually a massive head injury. My life completely changed. And I had to relearn how to speak. And the business that I had created for so many years that was incredibly successful, hugely financially successful. Money was not an object for me, but time was an issue. I'd never really had the time. And so my life changed in that moment. And as I was driving here, thinking of what other stories can I share with you? And I was reminded of a movie. It's called Sliding Doors with Gwyneth Paltrow. Have any of you ever seen this movie? It's called Sliding Doors. And the premise of the movie is that she is at home getting ready for work. The fellow that she was living with, who was unemployed, she was saying goodbye to. And she went to catch the subway. She got there, she got to work, and she was actually fired that day. And she just felt like, her life had just crashed around her. And as she was walking back to the subway to catch it home, just before she got on, the doors shut and she missed the subway because of the sliding doors. Feeling very dejected, she walked away, heard an announcement saying there was going to be a delay and the next train wasn't going to come by for another half hour or whatever time it was at that point. And as she walked away, feeling very disappointed, rejected, what happened in the movie is that suddenly you still see her, and yet suddenly you see her again running towards the doors. Only this time, she actually gets on. So now you're seeing a parallel of what could have been and what was. And by getting onto the subway, she gets home early only to find her boyfriend with another woman. So now that's the end of that relationship. She's lost her job. Everything seemed dismal. And the movie continues from there, and it shows the difference between her life when she makes the doors and when she doesn't. And you see the profound differences. I won't give you the ending of the movie because I do recommend it. It's quite lovely. It also reminded me of another movie called Run, Lola, Run. Had anyone ever seen or heard of that movie? Again, the story is Lola, whose boyfriend Manny has somehow gotten into a predicament where he was supposed to deliver some drugs, and he had lost them. Somebody snatched them from his bicycle, and he had all this money he was supposed to give, and he now was at the risk of being bumped off by the criminals. And he had to come up with, I can't remember the exact amount, let's say it's $20,000, but he had to do it right away. And Lola's father was a bank manager. So now she's running, and as she runs out her apartment door, she goes down a couple of stairs and she trips over a toy but catches herself. And all these different things that happen, and as she opens the door, there's a couple that walks by, and she bumps into them, and all these different things that occur. And the movie is a little different in that it shows all the different things that happen, but then it starts again, only this time she doesn't trip, she doesn't bump into a couple, but that couple ends up getting hit by a car, and all the different things that happen because of tiny little circumstances. And sometimes we don't always see what those circumstances are. The experience that I had in Hawaii, I often, doing dolphin retreats for many years in this beautiful house that's right on the ocean edge, and it's just magnificent. And in March 2011, Japan was hit with a massive earthquake. We had to evacuate because we were under a tsunami warning. And my entire group had arrived, some of them had arrived a few days early, and I had the house meticulously all set up. I even had all the towels rolled on each bed with a little flower, and the caterer had arrived with the food. Everything was ready to go for the retreat. Now I had to find somewhere. There was a group of 16 of us, and I had to find somewhere for everyone to go. And it was beautiful how everyone rallied around. People offered their homes. Walmart actually opened their store for people to use the bathrooms. People were in the parking lot there. And it was supposed to hit at 2 o'clock in the morning. So now everyone had left. Everyone found a place. I knew where I was going to go, but I had all the food and everything I'm trying to load into my vehicles, and I'm still loading the car. And it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and the police come knocking on the door and says, "You have to leave." I said, "Yep, just a couple minutes, and I'm out." So, and it wasn't the first tsunami warning. I always thought I'd like to have an oceanfront house. That changed. That was my third tsunami warning. Anyway, so here I am. I've got everything packed up, and I moved to a house that's just up the hill, and it overlooks the bay. And I was pretty exhausted, and the people that were there, we had the television on, and we saw the devastation of all that occurred in Japan. And we knew that it was going to hit the Big Island. We knew that it was going to hit Kauai first, then Oahu, then Maui, and then it was going to hit the Big Island. So we watched the news, and it had missed Kauai. It was fine. Oahu was fine. Then Maui was fine, and we thought, okay, we're going to be okay. And I finally dozed off to sleep, only to wake in the morning to see the rooftop of 12 houses floating in the bay, and debris completely floating in the water. And devastated, I had walked down, and the roads, they often have these little lava rock retaining walls, and the road was filled with all the debris, the rocks. And when I got to our house, my heart sank, because the gate leading into the house had smashed open. It had smashed open the garage doors where I had a lot of my camping equipment and different supplies. We had a washer dryer and a fridge that was completely tossed like dice. It was totally smashed open. The stairs at the front were ripped off to the side. The hot tub was missing. And the water had come. We were hit with 40-foot waves. And what happened is, with the house situated in here's the Pali mountainside, here's the bay, and then we're the very first house, and then here is where the water, the waves came in at the point, and it hit what's called Manini Beach. It completely shattered that, came back, hit the Pali, came back, and then hit our house. So the room downstairs was covered with sand, and it had actually ripped out all the water pipes and the foundation points. So now the floor was starting to collapse. I had a full retreat, and this was my other home, and I looked at this and I thought they were going to have to tear it down. And the worker said, no, we can repair this. Now I had to find another place, because I knew it's such an incredible experience that somehow I had to trust there was another place. And just up the road, there was a fellow that I knew that had another retreat center. And I thought, even if he had one portion, I'd buy sleeping bags and we'd just have to deal with it. And when I did call him, I was actually quite surprised he answered the phone. He said, Hannelore, he says, my place had been full all this time, and the last person of my last retreat is leaving today, and I don't have anyone else booked until the day after your retreat ends. And I've had several calls. I says, I'll take it. We moved up there, and it was really incredible. And what I found really fascinating is that when we all gathered together and we were all at the ocean's edge, and we saw the debris. You couldn't even see the beach itself because there was mattresses and picnic tables and you name it, debris everywhere. And we all rallied together, diving into the water, pulling debris out of the water. And what concerned me was a friend of mine said that he had been swimming, and this is where the dolphins come in to play, to swim. And he said he saw one of the dolphins. We usually played leaf tag with these dolphins. We'd have a leaf, we'd drop it, and they would swim by, pick it up, and then drop it off for us to pick up. And then they'd always leave it a little bit deeper, so I'm just barely catching it and then pulling it up. And one time I put it across my mask, and the dolphin laughed as it went by. Next time it turned around, it had it over its face, and it's laughing as it goes by. And I thought, oh my gosh, these dolphins, it's all there. And he said, yeah, he had this dolphin with like a cardboard six-pack on its fin, and he was worried that it was getting trapped. It dropped it off for him to play with. So what I learned was, and I actually wrote an article, Joy Amidst the Chaos. And that's the title of this talk. And everything kept going. The humpbacks still came in, teaching their young how to breach. And life went on. And the community rallied together. And it's something that we hear about all around the world when there are disasters, how people come together to work together and help each other. With that in mind, I just noticed how many different things may occur when we have a plan. We have, for me, when I had that car accident, I had to sell what I had left of my home. And as I was doing so, my septic tank backed up. And I'm going, like my was literally backing up. And so, it was like this needed to happen. The home had to sell. And I called a fellow, and he's looking at it, and he's going, oh, we may have to dig a whole new septic field. We're talking more than the equity I still had in the house. And I just went, all right, God, no. I remember pacing back and forth and calling. I call on the divine intervention of the Holy Spirit. I call on the divine intervention of the Holy Spirit. And I kept repeating that to myself. And then I heard the fellow repairing. He says, okay, it's all fixed. And I went, You mean it's flowing through? Yeah, it's fine. It's fixed. No problem any. You mean you fixed it? Hard to believe. And I was just like so thrilled in how that had come together, and how and that's when I realized we can call on the divine. We can call on the Holy Spirit, even if it's to clear a plugged septic field. And it's really incredible how many stories for me occurred in my life, which was for many years, dealing with dolphins and whales and meeting some remarkable people. And so a lot of the times when I would go to Hawaii, I would camp, first of all, in one of the bays where the dolphins came and played. And this one particular time as I arrived, all my friends that I got to know over the years, they came up and they were very concerned because they said, there's a dolphin in distress. It's got fishing line all wrapped around it. It's not able to eat. It's not letting anyone near it, and it's crying. And so when I did go in to swim, I could hear its cry, but I couldn't see it because it kept itself away. And that happened right up until my retreat started. So I shared with the group, let's put our intention out. Let's set our intention that this dolphin receives the help that it needs. And for the entire retreat, it was very frustrating because we could hear it. Sometimes we could see it off in the distance, and you could see how the line had been gathering debris. And it was heartbreaking to watch. And at one point, I went into a meditation. I had closed my eyes, and I sent it images because my friend Willie, who is a local fellow, had a knife. And then there were a couple of other people, Susan and David, also had knives ready and scissors to be able to help it. So I closed my eyes and I just sent it images that we're here to help you, we're here to help you. And when I opened my eyes, it was like this far away from me. And unfortunately, I didn't have anything with me to be able to cut the wire. But what happened was I gathered the rest of us in a circle of prayer that we send the images to this dolphin so that it would find its way to get the help that it needed. And one of my participants, as she was swimming back to shore, next thing you know, she's coming back to our group. And I swear she was like skimming the surface. She was so excited. And she came up to us and she said, she's free, she's free. Willie freed her. And it turns out that it came near Willie and he was able to grab the cord and he was able to pull her near, cut it off, and remove it, and she was now free. And when I went to shore and met up with Willie, we were all sobbing, and we were so grateful that this precious little dolphin was free. And what was really remarkable about this, so here we had this entire week before of this concern for this little animal, and the very next day, I have never seen it before or since, the bay was filled with dolphins. It's like the word got out, and they let all the other pods know, and they all came into the bay, and they were leaping. They were the spinner dolphins, leaping for joy. And it was such an incredible, in our local dolphin community, we're all in the water and swimming, and just, it was a tremendous experience. We were crying for joy, and we were so grateful. When I was, so many years ago, I came across an article in a San Francisco Chronicle. And in the article, it talked about how a humpback whale was all trapped and had the cages, it was trapped with the crab cages all attached to it, and it was weighted down. And I read a little bit of the story. It was just a tiny little article, and it gave the name of the fellow that had rescued this humpback. And so I reached out, and I called him, and we had this wonderful conversation. And what he said, his name's James, and what he said, he had given me permission to share this story in my book, when he had heard about this, he had a Zodiac and his girlfriend at the time and another friend of his go out to where the humpback was last seen. And around, as they got close to it, the water was all oily, because it had cut into its flesh. And in that area in San Francisco, the water is very murky, so the visibility is next to nothing. So here they are, two of them, he and his friend, while his girlfriend held onto the Zodiac, they dove into the water to see what the situation was. And they discovered that it was completely wrapped around, trying to free itself. It got itself so entangled. And the cord, the ropes had gone through its mouth. And as they were cutting with a knife, they were also aware that this is a giant animal, that if it moved a sudden way, they could be injured, if not killed. So they called for backup. So a couple more divers came. And they spent a long time working at freeing this animal. And as they were cutting a rope, it would snag with another part of the rope. And then they'd cut that, and it would get caught in another area. And finally, they got all the ropes off, thinking that that was it. And then James noticed that there was another one that went through its mouth. So he went up to that one, and as he's trying to get to the rope, he couldn't even get his hand inside because it was so dug into its flesh. And as he's getting hold of this rope, the eye of the whale is right there. So now he's like eye to eye with this whale that's looking him up and down like this. And he goes, he's saying, okay, now don't go getting caught in these traps. I'm here to help you. And he's having this telepathic conversation with it. And he finally cuts that last piece, and the last of these cages dropped. And he and his friends were so excited. They were just cheering. And the whale just quivered and started to move away. And what happened next was so profound, because as they watched the whale move away, it turned and it came right back for them. And it came right up to them. And he said it was like a puppy dog that was excited and wanting to thank them. And it went underneath them and lifted them up out of the water on its back, and then gently put it back again. And then he says, and it went around to each individual to thank it. And as it then swam away, it breached and breached and breached, and then finally went off. And, stories like that, they are so profound. It's in Maui, there was a woman that I had connected with, and she took divers to swim with manta rays. Have you ever seen a manta ray? Do you know how big a manta ray is? They're anywhere from like 8 to 20 feet. I've done night dives with manta rays. It's quite remarkable, belly to belly with these manta rays. And they're like angelic beings. The top of them is dark, it's black. And then as they scoop the plankton, they do like somersaults. And the underneath side of them is white. So they're like these angelic beings in the water as they swim. And this woman had taken a couple of fellows for a dive. And she noticed that one of the manta rays had its fin. It had a hook in its mouth, and its fin was tangled. So again, it couldn't eat and move around properly. So she approached it, and not sure whether it would let her help it. And she pulled on it, and she got it free. And it took a long time, but as it completely free, it was free, and it swam around, swam away, and the divers, then she remembered her 2 divers that she brought with her, and they were just watching the whole thing. And then they were like this, pointing at something behind her, and as she turned around, this manta had come back to her as well and circled her several times again as to say thank you. And as she's sharing this story with me, she said, in all the years that I've been doing this, there's so many times I've rescued different animals. And I often wondered, what would happen? Would they ever return that favor? Would they ever do anything if I was in trouble? Well, sure enough, not too long later, she was doing a photo shoot because she was able to hold her breath underwater for a very long time. And for this particular photo shoot, they had a gown especially made for her, and it had the gown just continued on for several feet, maybe 10 feet, so that as she swam, it would float following her gracefully. But what they didn't realize is that when this fabric got wet, it became very heavy. And as she had gone down for the photo shoot, she realized she couldn't get back up. And she's trying to signal for help, but they're not noticing that she's having a problem. And just as she was about ready to black out, these manta rays showed up and started circling her, which brought their attention to her, and that's how they realized she was in trouble, and then they pulled her up. Yet there were no manta rays before or after that whole shoot, and they were there just at that right moment. So God's creatures, great and small, we're all here to support and work with each other. I'm so blessed with having many of these experiences, and also having the joy to be of service when things are a challenge for people. There's a quote by Vivian Green, and she said, "Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain." So my question to you is, have you any interesting stories that you perhaps would like to share? And we could even maybe consider doing that when we go for coffee afterwards and enjoy after service. Albert Einstein shared, "You never fail until you stop trying." So no matter what occurs in our life, what hardships we might experience, always trust, again, you are never alone. You're always supported. There is this beautiful oneness. We find angels in physical bodies walking among us, and we have a wonderful support network in the realm that's beyond our visual sight. One more story I wanted to also share with you, and it's a remarkable story about a Formula One race car driver, and this is an actual experience, and it's actually a documented case study. It was published in the British Journal of Psychology. So it involves a Formula One race car driver. And it's a remarkable example of instantaneous intuitive action on a non-conscious level. And what happens is the race car driver, they were in the midst of their Formula One race, and as he goes to turn a corner, for some reason, he instinctively pulled over, which meant that he was forfeiting the race. And when he was asked why did he do that, because little did he know that beyond his sight, there was a massive pileup. So had he turned that corner and continued, he would have been part of that pileup. And yet he did not see it. When he was shown the film of the race, and as he watched it, he realized why he pulled over. And it was not on a conscious level, but what happened is a part of him kicked into something wasn't right, because everyone would have been facing him as he came around the corner, and yet everyone's heads were watching the pileup. And instinctively, he pulled over. And that's how remarkable we are. And we have these incredible abilities. So be open, be willing to receive. Our time is complete. And I would say perhaps joy is not the absence of chaos, but the quiet trust that even in the midst of life's storms, something sacred is still unfolding. Thank you. So be it.
Before you see her, you'll hear her. Laughter that peals like a bell makes the rafters ring when she sings, and always a story to tell. And when you see those big green eyes, full of fun and surprise, she's sending love from the heart, and a party is sure to start. The joy of Julie keeps on shining. That lovely voice invites us to play. The joy of Julie keeps us smiling. Her love's a spark that lights up the dark. The joy of Julie shines. She made a deal with an angel. Together they crafted a plan. Find the friends in need, help them succeed, and tell them, yes, you can. And when I saw the strength she found, when pain was all around, I hope I can be as strong. I know Julie will sing along. The joy of Julie keeps on shining. That lovely voice invites us to play. Hey, the joy of Julie keeps us smiling. Her love's a spark that lights up the dark. The joy of Julie shines. Before you see her, you'll hear her. Laughter that rings like a bell, and she makes the rafters ring when she sings, and always a story to tell. And when you see those big green eyes, full of fun and surprise, she's sending love from the heart, and a party is sure to start. The joy of Julie keeps on shining. That lovely voice invites us to play. Hey, hey, the joy of Julie keeps us smiling. Her love's a spark that lights up the dark. The joy of Julie shines. Her love's a spark that lights up the dark. The joy of Julie shines. With joy, Julie shines. With joy, yeah, Julie shines. She still shines with joy. Yeah, she's shining, keep shining. Oh, shine, shine on, come on. Oh, shine with Julie, yeah, 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 yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you. That's the first time that song's ever been heard.
Wow, thank you, Tom. Thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate it. Wait, Hannelore, thank you so much for all your stories and showing up and being here for us. Thank you. So beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We're so blessed. So blessed. Thank you. Wow, what a lively day so far. Amazing. So we now come to the time in our service where we bless our love offerings. So now let's together say our offering statement. All together now. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. If you are here in person, please drop off your donations with the ushers as you exit the sanctuary. To donate online, simply click on the donate link in your chat window. You can give via all major credit cards. So coming up right here at Unity, join us today after our service for our fireside chat. We will meet on the lower level from 1 p.m. to 2:30 for an update on Unity of Vancouver activities. We will be hosting our Easter potluck on Sunday, March 29th, after our service on the lower level. Come and join your Unity community to share a meal and conversation. Please bring a dish to share. So as spring approaches, this is the last week. We will be announcing our landscaping beautification, but first, we can go back, that's okay. We do have an exciting event to share. We will be hosting an evening and book signing with world-renowned botanist Diana Bareford Kroger. Come hear the voice of the forest. It's time to root in your truth in the living earth and a practical path towards living in alignment with the natural world. Doors open at 6 p.m. The talk will be from 6:30 to 8:30, and it includes a Q&A. Book signing will start at 8:30. Tickets are $25 in advance or $35 at the door. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. Be sure to check out our website for all other details and links to purchase the tickets. This event is expected to sell out, so get your tickets early. So as spring approaches, this is the last week we will be announcing this landscaping and beautification team here at Unity of Vancouver. We have received many applicants, so thank you for those who have. You will be receiving an email this week with further details and what to do moving forward. And if you are inspired and something like that interests you, there are sign-up sheets at the bookstore, and you will be receiving an email this week for further information of that team. So thank you for helping steward our sacred space. So reserve the date for our 2026 annual general meeting of Unity of Vancouver. It will be held on Sunday, April 26, 2025 at 1 p.m. on the lower level. All registered members will be entitled to vote. Of course, join us at a Course in Miracles group every Tuesday from 12:30 to 2:30 in the lower level. Learn alongside like-hearted individuals as you expand awareness. All are welcome. Your presence truly enriches the circle. Our Mastermind Prayer Group continues to meet every Sunday before service at 10 a.m. downstairs in the meditation room. This group offers a powerful way to align with your goals through practice of unity prayer. Reflective Roundtable will not be taking place today due to the fireside chat, but it will reside March 29th. Oh, I'm sorry, it won't be on March 29th as well. So no roundtable this week or on March 29th, but it is available through thoughtful, hello, beautiful Marianne, come on. What would you?
The fireside actually will start at 12:30 or 1:45, not 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Marianne. Okay, fireside starts at 12, you said 12:45?
Or 12:30.
12:30, okay, wonderful. Well, we'll see you downstairs at 12:30. Thank you, Marianne. So yes, Reflective Roundtable, there will be no Reflective Roundtable today or March 29th. It will resume on April 5th. So today's affirmative prayer chaplains are myself, Kimberly Kyler Lubinich, Kui Ming Ling. She has Mandarin available for those of you who are interested, and the lovely Brian Law. And on Zoom, we do have Carolyn Collin as well. So hi, Carolyn. Nice to see you. Thank you for supporting Unity. If you'd like to receive a confidential prayer from one of our chaplains, we'll be waiting for you in the front row after the music ends. So join us downstairs after the music for coffee, cookies, and conversation, and the fireside. And next Sunday, Reverend Rona Segura joins us from Unity of New West to share beautiful teachings based on the songs from The Sound of Music. Watch our website for all the details and how to tune in online if you can't make it in person. And now, as we bring this gathering to a close, please stand and let us together say our prayer for protection. All together now. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So if you're here on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We'll send you our love, and we look forward to seeing you next week. If you're on Zoom and want a pray confidentially with a chaplain in a private room, please accept your breakout invitation.